Welcome in everyone, this is Sean with MTG808 Jr. and today we are going to be revisiting our mono red Fling deck with some updates from the newly released Dominaria expansion. Before we jump into that though, we want to make sure that everyone knows about our upcoming Youth Championship Scholarship Tournament taking place Saturday, May 12th over at Dirtle Zone in Aiea. $5 to enter. We'll be giving away $750 in scholarship prizes, $500 to first, $250 to second. So if you are a youth player here on Oahu, you should definitely come check out our scholarship tournament. We are hoping to run more of these in the future, hopefully more than one per year, starting next school year, so stay tuned. But the format is going to be standard Pauper, and Dominaria is going to be legal, so you are in the right place to brush up on your game so that you can seize the day. Alright, so here is a text version of the mono red Fling deck with some Dominaria updates. There will be a link to this in the description, so you can check that out, but for now we're going to hop on over here. This is what the deck looks like in a visual view. I want to just highlight some of the changes that we made. We really didn't change very much from this deck at all, but the one big addition that Dominaria gives us is Run Amok. We were playing Brute Strength in this slot. Brute Strength, we'll pull it up here. So Brute Strength is a very solid magic card. One red, one colorless instant. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. You know, very good at pushing through damage. The old combo was Brute Strength on a creature that you're attacking with. Hopefully one that's unblocked, they take a bunch of damage from that, and then after combat you then fling the creature at them to kind of double up on your bonus spell, or your double up on your pump spell. So that combat, or that interaction still applies here with Run Amok. So the drawback of Run Amok is that you can only target attacking creatures, so if you are on your back foot you cannot cast a spell on defense, but when you're on offense, this card is miles better than Brute Strength, right? You still get the +3 attack bonus, so it still works great with Fling. But if you don't have Fling, or even if you do have Fling, getting the extra +2 on defense means that your creature is going to be surviving combat much more often. And in combination with Fling, that usually means that they'll survive combat, so they'll get trample, they'll trample over whatever they're blocking. If they're blocked, they'll deal damage to the player, and then, you know, if the extra 2 toughness from this spell means that the creature isn't then going to survive, it means that it'll still be around for you to sacrifice it to Fling. So it's great in combination with Fling. Even without Fling, that extra toughness means that the creature is more likely to survive, meaning it's more likely to stick around and deal more damage in future turns. So Run Amok is, I think, a big upgrade for this deck. As I said, the drawback is that you can't cast it on defense, but this deck really wants to be applying the pressure. The other card that we're trying out in this deck is Sparring Construct. I think that this is just a very solid one-drop that is going to slot into a lot of the aggro decks. So it's a one colorless for a 1/1 artifact creature. When Sparring Construct dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. You know, it's just all around solid. You can play it on turn 1. You know, if they play a 1-drop on turn 1, then you can play your 2-drop on turn 2, attack into their 1-drop. If they block, hopefully you'll trade, and then you get to buff up your 2-drop. It wears Hone Kopesh very well. It combos with you know, your removal spells to kind of take out bigger creatures. So I think that this is just an all-around very solid card. It costs 1 mana, which is the name of the game in Standard Pauper. The rest of the deck is almost exactly the same. The only other difference was, so we cut Emberhorn Minotaur, which was our 4-drop, and 1 land to make room for the Sparring Constructs. And then we are playing a Wrangle in the main deck instead of a Hijack. Most of the creatures in this format have 4 power. It's very rare that a creature with more than 4 power is going to be in play, and if they are playing more creatures than the Hijack is going to be around. But since we trimmed the land, I wanted to kind of lower the curve. Sparring Construct does a good job of that, and then Wrangle does as well. So that is the deck. Not too much to say here. I guess for those of you who have not seen the original deck tech, you know, we'll go through it. Fanatical Firebrand, very solid 1-drop, can ping something, can attack on turn 1. all around good. It's always going to have a use. There's lots of 1 toughness creatures in the format that this can trade with. It's great. Firebrand Archer triggers whenever you cast a non-creature spell, right? That includes, there's 20 non-creature spells in the deck, so it's going to trigger a lot. Same with Nimbleblade Kenra. This guy goes really well with Run Amok because you get the trigger from Run Amok. So that would turn it into a 2/4. Run Amok's bonus would turn it into a 5/7. That's a lot of toughness on a 2-drop creature. So this guy is very solid. Thresher Lizard, this deck is basically just trying to empty its hand. Ideally, you want to end the game with just Fling in your hand, right? And then maybe a Run Amok as well. So the deck is just trying to dump its hand into play. So playing a 3-mana 4/4, very solid card. Shock and Lightning Strike kind of need no explanation at this point. They will often trade up with creatures that you play them on. They can definitely go to the face if your opponent is at a low life. All around great card. Hone Kopesh, all of our cheap creatures, it makes them trade in combat better. It makes them deal more damage when they're not blocked. You can attack with it, move it, and then move it to an untapped creature to end your turn so that you can use it on defense as well. Just Hone Kopesh is great. And then we've already talked about Fling and Run Amok and Wrangle. The sideboard actually has not changed very much, except I did cut a Magma Spray from our previous sideboard for a 3rd dual shot. There are a lot of 1 toughness creatures in the format right now, and I think dual shot is one of the best sideboard cards that you can have in this format. So we're playing 3 dual shot. Hijack comes in because it combos well with Fling, right? You hijack their creature, attack them with it. If it survives, then you sacrifice it to Fling. Destructive Tampering, the first ability, destroy target artifact. This is overcosted for that effect, but paying 3 mana so that creatures without flying cannot block this turn is a great way to kind of finish the game off. We're only playing 2 because ideally you want to cast this and then win the game that turn. Shatter comes in if you need to kill opposing vehicles or opposing equipment. The last Fling comes in to go with the hijacks because this is a great combo. And then Magma Spray can kill the embalmed creatures, or if you just need more spot removal. So that is our updates on Mono Red Fling. Yeah, Run Amok is a big upgrade, but other than that, and Sparring Construct, I have high hopes for being very solid. But other than that, the deck is very, very similar to what it, the iteration that it was before. So, if you're kind of waffling on what to play for standard Pauper, just picking up this deck and running with it would be very solid. So, tried and true archetype here, Mono Red. So thank you for stopping by. Hope you liked the video. Leave us a comment and let us know what you think. If you like the content that we have here, please consider becoming a Patreon subscriber. Voluntary subscription service, you choose how much you want to donate. All of our subscribers get access to our monthly expenditure report, so you know how we're spending your money. But basically, all of the proceeds from our Patreon go to supporting the youth Magic tournaments that we are running. The scholarship tournaments, we would not be able to run them without the support of our generous patrons. We are hoping to grow the program, so please consider becoming a Patreon subscriber, and yeah, hope to see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.